What's up, everybody? A Sparrow with a Gun here from Sleepless Nights with another episode on the Space Engineers Inspiration series. We're starting things off today with the Atlas Station. This was a bit of an interesting one to me. I actually glossed over it the first time I was looking through the different builds for the week. But the one that I initially picked, it had a lot of problems, and I couldn't get it to load right or do stuff correctly, so I just kind of scrapped it and started over. And then I found this guy. And the interesting part is it's actually kind of a station within a station, if I understand the description correctly, because it started as a smaller build, like a small ship grid build. And then as the project for the builder got more advanced and further along, they actually used this small ship as a project, or a projector, layout display, and then built it in a bigger scale and all this kind of stuff, which I thought was kind of interesting. Unfortunately for moi, I don't really know where the door is, as you can tell. I don't really want to use a door timer if I can help it, but... oh, there it is. Okay, so there's basically doors on all the access points. This is a vanilla build, so there is no, there's no mods. Oh, and I forgot. I was like, there's no gravity. How am I walking? It's maglock based in some areas, as far as I understand it. So there's docking exits. We've got pathways that lead out through the arms. It almost reminds me a little bit of like a Deep Space Nine, because you've got the outer ring and stuff, which is cool. I mean, Deep Space Nine was a cool station. So let's go ahead and check out... I might fly for this, actually. Let's go ahead and check out this stuff out here. What do we got? So there's more access points, it looks like, so more airlocks. This is probably the, like, main airlock, I'm guessing, that I just happened to overlook. And I really like that feature, by the way, that they've added, that I have not really used much at all. Of if you're in a gravityless environment, your maglock boots kick in, which is kind of cool, because you can kind of do the age-old walk on the outside of the station kind of thing, which is kind of neat. I like it. You just have to be careful with it because it doesn't fully stay... It's a little interesting that it doesn't completely stay locked on if you go around something. You saw there a couple of times it gave loose. But there's also, I'm sure, more that could be done with the interior of this if you added in mods, but we've talked before numerous times that, you know, the vanilla blocks aren't super conducive to doing interior design, at least not yet. I do think it's hard not to compare something like this to like Empyrean, because they're very similar games. They're just kind of tackling it from different directions type of thing. And there is also this. My boots gave loose a little too early, but this is supposed to be a mag boot hallway, where because there's actually a curve instead of a drop or a cutoff, you can in fact walk down and walk along the wall. So I thought that was a really nice touch. I thought that was pretty cool. I hadn't really seen a build kind of focus on working around mag boots before. That's kind of a cool, and now we're on the lower section where we started off. So I really like that. I really thought that was cool. Of all the things that I've seen in the build so far, I think that was one of my favorite things, because it actually made use of the mag boots and catered to them rather than having them be an afterthought. So it looks like this is the med bay, as well as the oxygen generators area. I do believe, if I read the description correctly, all of this should be survival ready. Crew quarters, I'm assuming, for bunks. So as far as I know, you should have at least the basics of everything that you would need to run a survival environment. It does not move typically. Like, I don't think it's a... It may have a few, like, reaction maneuverable thrusters, but I don't think you're actually going to really move the ship that way. I don't think it does, though. Even if it does, it's not really going to help much. But the jump drives are the primary source of if you needed to move the station in an emergency, you'd use the jump drives, according to the description. So here's your production level, with your refinery, cargo, assemblers, etc., and so on. So I think that's... let's see... I guess there isn't... it doesn't look like there's a way to walk straight up the ramp. You have to kind of, almost like a staircase, go around it. I wasn't sure if you went from a specific direction, if you could just go all the way around it or not. So overall, I thought that was a pretty neat little feature, though, is the... I forget what it was called. They named it something in the description. It was like the mag boot hallway or something to that effect. Now, as for getting up there, I guess we're going this way. And for this, we'll probably just... you could, I guess, adjust your position and turn off your jetpack and mag boot up. But for creative purposes, it's easier to just go this way. And there's the gravity generator. Right there. And then this is the upper part, or control, or whatever. So yeah, they ended up converting the small ship build into the projection, which is like the layout or the map of this build, which I thought was an interesting little trivia thing, kind of thing. I also like these pillars. That's a pretty cool effect, especially with the cyan lights. That's really neat. And so here's all of your command modules where you control everything. All the different consoles and flight seats and whatnot. I don't think, according to the description, it didn't really sound like there was anything in particular that you did with those. Those are more for decoration, other than, you know, running the ship and stuff like that. But yeah, there's no loaded up hotbars or anything like that, to my knowledge. Or anything particular about any one seat. It's not like one's weapons, one's this, you know, they're all just kind of there for you to control stuff. So, yeah, anyways, that's going to wrap this one up. Let's move on to the next one. Alrighty, so next up we have the Carrack, or Carak class exploration frigate. I'm not really sure how you're supposed to say that. The description was mostly statistics of information on how many devices and things this ship had, but not overly abundant on, you know, various key features and things like that, which is fine. But the primary point, I guess, is it's a lighter cruiser than what the builder originally did. I don't remember seeing a ship like this before, so this was completely new to me. But it looked really interesting. Now, this one is a little bit modded. I had the mods ahead loaded into my world file so that I could paste in the blueprint correctly, but I got really hooked on some of the screenshots. Some of the interior designs and stuff really look cool, as well as the exterior designs. It's got some really cool curvatures and angles and things that I just found really cool and original. It's also kind of got these encased thrusters here on the side, which is a cool little touch. Like this is another example that the thrusters are actually back here using the modular thrusters, but then they're concealed in the wall or the hull. So I thought that was a really, really cool touch, because then from the exterior, it doesn't really look like it has thrusters, other than in certain angles. So I thought that was a really neat little trick to use. But overall, yeah, I really liked the design of it and stuff. Very sleek and angular, and had some really unique designs. But the interior looked really interesting as well. You've got the merge blocks there to dock with a ship. Wasn't my fault this time. The interior door was left open of the airlock. That was not my fault. So, let's see. Both of these are going to be from the access point, so I guess this is going to go towards the nose. But the interior is really, really well laid out in terms of using mod blocks and things. This, kind of in stark contrast to the last build, is an example of what I was talking about, where when you add in mods, you can do a lot with interiors. When you don't, you know, you have a little... Not that interiors that are vanilla are bad, they're just a little less detailed. Whereas you can get some really intricate inside designs and things when you add in some of these mod blocks and stuff, like having a kitchen, for example, or a legitimate mess hall, or plants. Because all of this is really cool looking. I particularly like this mess hall area look. This is pretty cool. Ooh, very well, very nicely laid out. I like it. And this is going to lead up into the nose where you had the glass windows. I actually expected this to be the bridge, but I guess the bridge is going to be on the upper back area where we saw that other glassed area. So this, I guess, is more of an observation and lounge type area, or recreation. Yeah, more recreation with all the arcades and tennis tables and all that stuff. Or tennis table. That's a tennis table right there. Well, I guess I could go with table tennis is what I meant to say, even though I totally messed up and meant to say ping pong. But we'll go with table tennis. This is what I meant. Yes, it is. That's what I meant. Shut up. So, yeah, I'm really liking the interior design here. I especially like this. When you have a cool floor pattern, like if you did a mod block for the floor, then putting the passageway over it just adds a nice little touch where it's not quite so bland. I think that's rather than just a squared hallway. That's a cool idea. I mean, that is what they're kind of supposed to be for. They are a passageway. I'm getting a little turned around here, though. I'm not gonna lie. And I particularly like the corner lights in the walls. That's a really good touch that, honestly, even in my own builds, I never thought to do that. I always try and put them up in the edge of the ceiling or something. I always forget that you could put them in the corner of a room, or even doing a double over a doorway like that. That's a great idea. Actually, I know they have their own lights now as part of one of the updates recently, but you could actually use this in tandem with scripts to change the lights according to their lock status or whatever. That wouldn't be a bad idea. Oh, is that a first aid station? That's cool. Oh, it's part of the wall. That's right. That mod has walls with that. Ooh. These mod walls go really well with the cryo chambers, actually. Because you have readout panel, even though you can't actually adjust those. That would be cool. That would be a lot of work, but that would be cool. And a med bay next to the cryo chamber makes perfect sense. Good idea. With a vent. I actually like this, too. This is a neat idea. I've seen this in a lot of different various builds. I just never mentioned it before, but having your vents kind of in their own little area and then having an open window type wall that lets it vent out. That's a nice touch. We've seen, that's nothing new. I mean, that's been in Space Engineers design for a long time, but I thought it was particularly interesting. We've got an airlock here. Where does this go? I did see some hangar doors. Yep, okay, so that's where this is. So we have a spotlight, we have hangar doors, but there's no ramp or anything, so I guess this is just another exit point. Oh, okay. Ah! Don't do that. Leave that button alone. So I guess this is more of just a jetpack-based entry point. Or a very small shuttle. But that would require a tiny little shuttle to get in there. I'm thinking that's more of a jetpack entryway for atmosphere when you're on the ground. I mean, I guess you could use it in space too. It's just, it's a shorter jump from the ground if you're in the atmosphere area. Okay, moving on. There's another door this way. See, that's what I mean. I'm getting a little turned around in here because there's different areas that go lower than I thought the ship had. Keeps proving me wrong. Okay, we've got beds. Crew quarters. Actually, these are really nice crew quarters, by the way. Because it's got its own bathroom area, its own little living area. It's not just like a few bunks, so... I mean, I guess this is listed as an exploration frigate. So I guess if you're going to be exploring deep space for a long time, you would want something a little bit cozy. Okay, now this is the upper area where we came from, and this is just more rooms, it looks like. Okay. So, didn't really miss anything there. I might just start leaving doors open if I've been there before. Let's see. I don't know if the lower area is going to go to the same point as the upper. So here we have a hangar. Ah, the upper goes to hangar control. Got it. That's the hangar door. So there's batteries there. Not really sure what that is. Hydrogen tank. Huh. Now that... Oh, that's not batteries. Oh, that's slick. I like that. So in case you haven't figured it out, what they did was they put catwalks over the hydrogen tank. So this is the hydrogen tank's indicator lights coming through the catwalk, and there's the access point, and this all covers it up. That is really cool. I didn't know the lights would come through like that. Oh, that's a neat little trick. And this is going to be the aft hangar that we saw earlier. The force field is a projector, so it doesn't actually block anything, so bear that in mind. But then you could connect it, and then it would restore its hydrogen through the tanks and all that good stuff. So that's a really clever way to hide a hydrogen tank. I have not seen that before, so cool points there. Alright, so here's mission control for the hangar, as it were. Looks like. And I didn't bother getting into it and everything, because I'm sure it's just, you know, lights and doors and basic things. Doesn't really strike me as there being anything super complicated about the hangar. Wow, it keeps going. See what I mean? It has way more floors than I expected it to. I keep expecting it to not have any more floors, and it keeps going up. Or down. Reactors, gravity generator, so basically engineering, looks like. Let's see. Let's go this way, because I came up another area and we hadn't seen this area. Ooh! I'm pretty much a sucker for anything with a bunch of screens and computers and, you know, mainframes and stuff that just screams high-tech. So whenever I see ships that have all these buttons and panels and screens, I'm like, ooh, what do we have here? This is my new favorite room. I particularly like these hologram tables and things. These are really cool. And this one is one of my favorites because it has like a 3D radar readout type of thing. Even though it's, you know, it's fake. It's not dynamic. It doesn't continue to move around. Actually, I didn't check, but there's no through point. No, that's just a wall. Yeah, okay. Just making sure that I didn't miss anything. I think we've covered most of the areas. I don't think there was anything that I saw that I didn't double back to and look at. So I think we've covered most of it. That we've run into anyway. Okay, so here, this is interesting. There's another door that leads back there. But this is the main bridge, it would seem, and with the main helm. Right here. Alright, now this one, what do we have going on? Rocket launchers, jump drives, air vent hangar, connector door locking right. Oh, locking, left. Connector door left and right. Blast door bottom entrance, hangar door, turrets, rocket, turrets, Gatling. Okay, so mainly just controlling the ship, nothing crazy. I always like to check just in case you're not like supposed to open any certain doors manually and it's like you're supposed to use timer blocks or anything like that. I always try and check. Wait, what? Oh. That was a very weird optical illusion. Because from here, when I turned the lights on, I thought that was just the glare of the light. Not that there was actually a platform there. That's trippy. That's really weird. Oh. Oh. This is like an emergency get out of the ship card. It looks like. Like you would have a little shuttle dock there or something. Maybe. In case the captain needs to make a quick exit rather than go down with his ship. So, yeah. Overall, I really like it. I really like the overall design and everything to it. It's very, very cool. Very cool. So yeah, I think that's going to do it for this one. Let's move on to the last one. Okay, and last but not least, we have the MayMorn. I think I'm saying that right. I believe it's short for May Morning. I think the description said something about that. I'm pretty sure. This is a modless with the exception of scripts, I believe. I'm pretty sure. So keep that in mind. But this is a really, really interesting ship to me. And let me start off by saying I am a sucker for these kinds of ships. I love them. Anything that transforms, changes, rotates, moves, I love them. Well, as long as they work right. That was actually the problem with the first one that I had originally picked for this episode, because I started messing around with it and it didn't actually work right. But I'm hoping this one works really good, because it looks awesome. It actually is one of those that it's not really super all that, how do I put this? Like, it doesn't really change a whole lot of how the ship works in terms of, does it make it do something phenomenal or whatever. It's really another VTOL type system where it changes flight mode, but it looks so cool. I just don't care. It looks amazing. Sliding doors, corner lights, gravity generators, air vents. Got it. And I do kind of like the compact, kind of wedge everything in here kind of look it's got going on too. I mean, I'm sure it has everything it's supposed to. It just kind of looks like everything's folded in on itself. It looks awesome. So we got information report readouts, LCD screens, kind of standard fanfare at this point. It's funny how that used to actually be a mod kind of thing, and at this point they should probably just incorporate it into the main game, because every build I ever see has like the same 4 scripts. I mean, they're amazing scripts and they're awesome. I still don't understand this one yet. I haven't really reverse engineered or dug into how that does the schematic thing. You know, I think actually, on a side note that's not really related to this ship, it's probably something that would work really easily for vanilla. I think if you had a modded ship, then this would probably run into some snags, because if I think about it, I'm pretty sure most of the time, whenever I see that script, it's usually on a vanilla build, and that's probably because I don't think it can account for mods. That was the problem I thought of when I was trying to think of a script like that, is I didn't know how to compensate for that. But anyways, yeah, this just got stuff all over the place, and there's a view all the way around, which is great. That's a battery, not a door. Thought it was a door. So yeah, really, really cool. Really like this ship. Cryo chambers over here, and I don't remember the specifics of everything, but the description did lay out exactly all the different components it has, and it's pretty much survival ready. It has all the things you would need, and so on and so forth. I believe it can transfer atmospheres, yada 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 yada. So yeah, and we've got all the information stuff for like GPS, autopilot. I think that's an autopilot type based script, where you can get like the stop time and distance and all that stuff. I think that's so you can do autopilot stuff. I could be wrong. But now for the main event. Actually, let me move it into the sun a little bit more. So in this state, it's considered in lander mode, or landed. Landing? Landing. Let's go with landing. It's in landing mode. There's the connection point on the left there. I don't know that there's really anything to explore in this middle ring area. I think most of the interior is on this outer beige ring. The red and the white, I think, is just all thrusters and fuel tanks and things. I don't it doesn't look like there's anything really important in there. So yeah, this is currently in landing mode. You can see the landing gears there. All the thrusters are all the powerful thrusters are pointed down, and then you've got the atmosphere ones that are out to the side, and so on and so forth. We have landing gears here. That's one of the timer blocks for something. I'm a little leery of what that is. Oh, I think it's pistons for the connectors, if I'm reading that right, maybe? Because it's pistons con, so it might be for the connection points out to the side, I'm not sure. Connector switch lock, cameras, atmospheric thrusters, ion thrusters on-off, hydrogen thrusters on-off, mode switch, that's the important one, jump drives, remote control, connectors, reactors, batteries, and more kind of basic ship controls and layouts and stuff. So the main one we want to look at is the switch timer. That's what's going to change our flight mode. So if we press this... Uh-oh. Please confirm. Jump drive. No, 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 no. No. Negative. I hit the wrong button. I hit 2. I want 1. Okay. There it goes! Look at it! That's so cool. I love stuff like this. Even if it doesn't really change much. I mean, you could just position thrusters everywhere, but it's so neat. I love it. So now at this point is in space mode. So as you can tell, the main large hydrogen thrusters are pointed forward to give you more forward thrust. I thought that was so cool. So cool. So at this point, you can just... Whoops. You can fly like this. And you can see it picks up pretty good, actually, and the movement is pretty good. It does say the safety lock is like 9 meters per second, and it does not recommend you change the mode while flying or moving at speed. So bear that in mind. It does seem like it takes a little bit to slow down, probably because there aren't as many larger thrusters pointing away. You have a lot of forward thrust, but not a lot of other directions by the looks of things. So, yeah, when we finally slow down, we can switch it back, but that's so simple. It's one button, and then it all just kind of rotates on its own. But I think it's crazy. I always tend to break things with rotors, so I'm always impressed when people can pull this kind of stuff off, where, you know, at this point, you can just click a button, and 2 different sections of the ship actually spin in various directions, and you end up with a different mode. I think that's just so cool. Like I said, you could do the same... functionality by just placing thrusters in all 6 directions or whatever, but it's like, why be boring? Why do it that way when you can have your ship change flight modes and rotate and crap? I just think that's so cool. I could sit here and watch it transform all day. Maybe not, but you get the idea. I think it's awesome. So I hope you guys agreed. I think we're going to wrap things up here. That's all I got for today, so we're going to wrap this episode up. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, and I will see you all next time. Peace.